lag. So I arrive up in Vancouver, everybody wants to know who's this guy that gets this role, you know, see what he can do. And they were wonderful to me. And as Katie's going, as I'm arriving, Katie's leaving, and everybody is dour and crushed because nobody knows, bar two people, what the plot is. So everybody's down, the crew's down, everybody's just like in this terrible funk. And I come in with a cat and a blue coat and start to spout poetry. It's like the most extraordinary experience of my life. And I was welcomed and loved, and you know, Eddie was like, so, what have you seen? I'm like, well, I've seen everything up to episode 7 this year. He goes, okay, well, you'll need these. And he gives me his DVDs of all the rough cuts of everything that have been done, you know, including his episode that year. So I ripped it all down to an iPod and sat in a Chinese restaurant in Vancouver for 2.5 days, literally. Because it's the only place I know that's always open. They have dim sum most of the day and then stay open. And they didn't care. They've been eating in that restaurant for 15, 20 years, so like back since X-Files days. So they've always known me. So I just sit there and they would occasionally feed me and bring me a bit of food. And I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you know, as we go from episode 7 through episode 16. And all of what you see on the screen, the intensity, is of course buffeted by humour.
Right.
But there's not a lot of time to play. The play is hard and the work is hard. But we spend a lot of time together. People spend a lot of time in each other's houses. People, you know, we've got very connected. Remember, I was very late to the party. But it's a wonderful connection whenever we see each other or any of each other. It's an amazing feeling. Very much like Firefly. Although I feel that Firefly would have even evolved beyond that, given more time.
Sure.
It comes from the leads in the show. It comes from number 1, number 2, number 3. If they have that personality where they're all inclusive and they demand the best of everybody, the vibe, for want of a better word, is fantastic. And I know a lot of sets where that just doesn't exist. I've been on sets where that just doesn't exist. People aren't present. People aren't happy. But yeah, I'll show you some candid photos I have. I was laughing in the middle of court scenes about death and the end of humanity. Yes. To answer your question, yes.
Well, I'm afraid our time this morning is almost up, and I want to thank Mark again for
Almost
doing
up.
this. We've got a little bit of time.
Who needs anything?
Well,
I didn't get some.
And if there's anything you would like to mention,
Well, I've been
brought
mentioning
up.
the whole time.
I just wanted to ask you about Star Trek Voyager and 24.
You did?
Yes.
Very interesting. Star Trek was one of my least favourite experiences of my entire life.
Really?
Yeah. Although I did get to meet Jerry Ryan, who I truly love, and I've had other connections with over the years, including up to Leverage, who I think she's one of the most fabulous women I've ever known. Fabulous actress too. 24 was great. I mean, it was just, Evan Katz gave me that. I'd worked with him on Special Unit 2, and he was like, yeah, you come do this guy. And I'm like, I'd just seen season 4, and I'm going, is this going to turn into another Marwan where I'm doing like 20 episodes, and then Ray goes, no, actually we cannot do that. So effectively I was a placeholder for whoever the next villain was going to be. So I don't think that the character was ever really fully realised, but it was an awful lot of fun to do. I did like 7 hours of it. So, but different, yet again, different shows, different setups, different ideas. Anything, anybody else? Are you missing anything?
Well, kind of what you were saying there that I'll ask is, you said you didn't get, with 24 you didn't get a chance to fully realize that character. Was there any other characters that you felt that you wish you had more time with? Like,
what's really funny? Yeah, maybe, but what's really funny is that, and Badger would be there. I mean, where's Badger going to go? We talked about that. He had big plans for Badger. But and Roma would have been. You know, Roma ends up as the president of Earth at one point, so it was kind of not a bad start to your day. You know what it is? It's, I've been gifted with great writers and great storytellers giving me great stories to tell. And a lot of them have turned from single ideas into multiple arcs, which is a lovely gift that I've been given by these people, and I love them for it. And I just want to keep doing that. That's my favorite thing to do, is to take something and run with it and have people as talented as the people that I've worked with thus far, continue to give me those avenues to explore and to continue to trust that we have a journey to go together. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. You know my dad, who my dad is, right? You don't know who my dad is. You're a Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
You don't know who my dad is.
and not at the moment.
He's in the Star Trek movie. He plays the science officer, Vulcan science officer in the Star Trek movie. He's in Star Trek 6. He's the prison commandant in Europa.
Right.
W. Morgan Sheppard is my father.
Right.
So Babylon 5, everything else, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
You know, he and I share that common thread. I'm a huge fan of Star Trek. I love what JJ's doing with it because there's no other way to go with this. What are we going to do? We're going to bang out another TV show? It's not going to happen. We've had enough of that. We need to go somewhere else with it. And so I got kind of excited watching what JJ were doing. And I think it's a great start. Same way as when Chris Nolan did the first Batman movie. We're going, okay, we can buy that. It's not Batman and Robin, thank God, you know. But then when we do The Dark Knight, we're like, ooh, yeah, getting a lot closer to what we think a graphic novel looks like. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what we're doing, and that's where we're going with it. And I truly do love Star Trek, and I appreciate it so much. Without Star Trek, there would be no Battlestar. Without Next Generation, there'd be no Ron Moore getting a job, and there would be no DS9, and there would be no Carnival the way it went, and there would be no 4400 with Renee. There would be none of these things that trickled out and became what they became. And we owe a lot to Star Trek in that way, as there's the visionaries saying, yeah, these young kids may be able to write better than the old ones. Ira Bear and those guys are a huge asset to us. And let's not ever forget that. So I'm never going to be mean about that. The original Battlestar, though, I love those actors, and I love what Hatch and everybody was trying to do. I just think it was this massive uphill struggle, and I love the fact that Richard got to come back into the new Battlestar and do as well as he did and become such an interesting icon in a second way. Well, lady and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's anything else you want, let me know.
Are you going to be on Capricorn?
Can't tell you that.